Hey up YouTube, today we're going to be looking at strawberry runners. We're going to be talking about second sowings because I've got some seeds that I need to get put in that are a bit late actually. We're going to have a quick look around the plot because a lot of stuff's grown and there's certain stuff that I want to point out to a lot of new growers that I see a lot of questions about on Facebook and things like that. So without further ado, I need to crack on. I've got lots to do today. I'm behind on the actual gardening side of things. So I'll see you in a minute. Oh, but before I forget, please do like, share and subscribe if you like what we do here. Right guys, well, first things first, as it's probably the most pressing job I need to do because these guys are well overdue planting out, is I need to get this bed ready. This is going to be my autumn winter cabbage bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish what a few viewers will recognise is this is the one that the beans were in. So I'm going to finish sort of cleaning it out. I'm going to get some manure put in it, just some alpaca manure. I mean, the ground will not be too bad with it having beans in it, because beans tend to break even on the nitrogen they take out. But there's other things that that the cabbages will need. So I'm going to get the some alpaca manure put down in here. I'm going to get it all cleaned up, get all the weeds out, and get it all broken down, get it sort of raked over. Then I'll put some alpaca manure in. I'll mix that in, and then we'll get these guys, or at least some of these guys. There's too many here, but we'll get some of these guys planted out. So I'll speed the footage up, I'll leave it in, but I'll speed the footage up and we'll get these planted out. So I'll see you in a bit. Now then, these cabbages are Golden Acre. They were supplied to me by growseed.co.uk, and it's the first time I've ever grown it. Now it needs to be at least, the cabbages are funny old things, they like a bit of space, they like to spread out. They need to be at least a foot apart ideally. So we're going to go with sort of rows of 2, maybe 3, I don't know, we'll see. I've got a fair few cabbages here, so we'll see how it goes. A couple of volunteers in each one as well by the looks of things. Now when it comes to your brassicas, you need to make sure that you really firm them in. They like it to be firm around the roots, so you really need to firm them in. So I'm going to go about a foot. Now this thing is about 11 inches long, so if I go sort of 1 and then about, there's markers on it, and the 3, I'm going to go about there, and we'll plant up the rest of this bed and I'll come back to you once it's planted up. There we go guys, that's the well, that's what will be the autumn cabbages planted out. While I'm down here, we're going to go straight into the strawberry bed, and we're going to look at runners, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they are. Now, I'm sort of doing things out of sequence. I'm going to revisit the strawberry runners video that I did last year. It was very popular, but I've learnt things here from what I did last year, and obviously when it comes to camera control, and my camera's better quality and so on and so forth. But I have seen a lot of people asking, what are these branches coming off my strawberry plants? This one is sending out quite a lot, and I've just spotted the one critter you don't really want in your strawberry bed, but we'll cross all this off when I do the strawberry bed properly. But I've seen a lot of people say, well, what are these branches that are coming off? And essentially, guys, what they are is they're free strawberry plants next year. What you would normally do is you get a pot, lift this guy up for a minute, and you'll pin this in to the pot. I'm just going to leave it in the ground there for now. And what that'll do is that'll grow into a strawberry plant, because of course these are all year one plants, but because strawberry plants, typically you get 3 years out of it, and then the amount they give you tends to slow down, tends to dry up. So you want to be capturing these runners. Now I'm going to capture them for, well, family and friends want strawberry plants, and so this year I'm going to capture as many as I can for family and friends. But that's all these sticks are, guys. They're just the way the strawberry plant multiplies. It's a lot easier to capture these runners from a strawberry plant than it is to grow strawberries from seed. And that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about on the strawberries, guys. But sort of these guys do it, the plain old red strawberries. I don't know what these varieties are. I inherited them. And the pine berries that I've got down there do it as well. So and I started the pine berry last year. I only started with 2 plants. Is it 2 or 1? And I've now got a good dozen. And obviously that grows exponentially, because I mean, depending on the health of the plant, this one probably won't do much in the way of runners this year. It's not looking too happy. But this one obviously is nice and strong and healthy, and is sending out lots of runners. And what it'll actually do, as it's done down here, it's sent out a runner, it's rooted, and then it's hopped and sent out a runner from the runner. So, you know, I'll have 2 to capture off that, and it may well hop again. So that's it, guys. A bit of a surprise coming up next. What we're going to do next, we're going to go down there, we're going to go grab a wheelbarrow, we're going to go down there, we're going to turn out my last bucket of new potatoes and see what's in there. So a bit of a potato reveal as well. So let's go do that. Right, guys, as you can see, this has started to die back. This is variety Pentland Javelin, grown as a first early. You see it's started to die back, so let's see what's in here. You never do know. But it's looking good already. Get this foliage out of the way. To put them in would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So let's have a look. Grab these off the top. Now these, I'm harvesting this primarily for tonight's dinner, but this is why I like growing in buckets. So much easier when it comes to harvest. We'll see if 1 bucket will give us a feed. I certainly think so. Bigger than that. From 1 bucket quite happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replant the bucket straight away. I'll get some fertiliser. In fact, I might just throw some. Yeah. So got the old chicken manure pellets in there. Some down in there as well. And what I've got is these that didn't get eaten, got left in the sunshine. So plant 2. I guess these are new potatoes. Plant 2. Come up a third of the way. And then opposite rotation, we'll plant 2 more. We'll give it a good soaking, then I'm going to top all these with a bit of straw. Soak it a minute. The straw on top is something that I did last year. But at the start of the season this year I couldn't do it because I didn't have any straw and couldn't get any. It's the same straw I use in the chicken coop. I get it cheap enough when I can get it. And the purpose behind putting the straw on top is more when you're growing in buckets, is obviously it dries out a lot faster and the straw helps retain the moisture. Hey up YouTube. Right, and so commonly asked question number 1 was the one about the strawberries. And this is commonly asked question number 2. What are these things doing on my potato plant? Well, believe it or not, potato plants flower. Okay? The important thing you need to remember, not all varieties flower, but a lot of them do. The important thing you need to remember is to leave them alone. They're not really going to do anything to your potatoes, they're not going to harm anything, they're not going to slow anything down, but quite importantly they will or should turn into berries. Now these berries are just green. If left, I believe they turn purple, although generally we harvest the plants before that happens. But those berries are poisonous. Potatoes are related to the nightshade family. If you touch them, wash your hands. They're not fatal, but they will make you very, very poorly. So your potatoes will flower. They'll have, depending on the variety, it can be different colours. They can be white, pink, purple. I've seen yellow. You know, they can be any colour really, I suppose. Don't worry about it. It's natural life cycle, guys. So if you see those on your potato plants, just let them get on with it. You're more likely to see them on your main crop as you will your first earlies, because your first earlies tend to be done before they flower. There we go. So we'll start where we are. So we've got me main crop potatoes all looking quite happy. There's 3 rows there. For some reason this row isn't doing so well. I don't know what I did differently on this row, but we'll find out when I dig them out. Although that row, actually thinking about it, that row could be first earlies and the other 2 are main crop. That could be right, actually. We'll find out when they come out anyway. This row is first earlies and they look very much the same. The leaf pattern's very much the same, whereas the main crop is, in my case, is slightly more rounded. Got the asparagus bed still with the onions in that I said I was going to pull and never did. The asparagus for this year hasn't really been bothered about those onions being there, so we're not going to worry about it too much. Leave it alone. The apple tree that I made rather poorly by spraying incorrectly. as people in the comments did point out, has survived. It wasn't very happy for a little while, and I don't know if the apples are actually going to come to anything, but it has survived and there's plenty new growth, so we're not worried. These are the main crop potatoes in buckets. They tend to at this point slow down a bit, and it's more my fault than anything else, is I don't get down to water them as much as they need to. But the pear, now so far we've not had a great deal of June drop, so we'll see what's going on. The garlic is now out of here. The cabbages, which are over there, you've just seen me plant. The strawberries we've just spoken about, I'm just going to go over them and check for any berries. Here's one of the first changes. This had garlic in when you last saw it. It's now got, it's a bit late, but it's now got my celery in. And just a bit of netting over the top to help protect it from birds. The red onions, they're not done yet, so they'll stay put for a little while longer. The broccoli and cauliflower bed is well and truly netted at the moment because I've got the other bed on top of it. You see, actually I missed one. I missed a purple sprouting. Look, it's blown, but it'll be fine. Some onions out to cure. These are the ones, these are from heat treated set, and some are seed as well, from the polytunnel. Now, I grew mine in the polytunnel this year. I would only do seed, and if you do set, make sure they are heat treated if you do them in a polytunnel. Otherwise, they will run to seed. Very, very quickly they will run to seed. So they'll just stay out for a day or two just to air dry, just cure them a little bit, and then we'll harvest them in. We forecast a few days of warm, dry weather. Cherries, we managed to keep some this year, so, and they taste lovely even though they're not ready yet. Got some beans and some special lots in there. The rescued apple tree seems to be really happy. There's maybe half a dozen apples on there in total, not loads, but that'll do for me. And then we get round to the messy bit where I haven't tidied up yet. The polytunnel, I need to get in here, but at the moment it's just too hot. I need to get in here and get the tomatoes all de-suckered and take the leaves off from round the bottom, but at the moment it's just too hot, so I'm waiting until the missus is next off work, and then I can come in on an evening and get it all done. Then round to the greenhouse with the chilies in it, or the chilies and the peppers. I actually need to remember to put a cane on that one because it's falling over, but they're all still small and squat. They're starting to, like the Dorset Naga down here is starting to shoot off. The sweet peppers, the ones at home are doing better, but these ones are quite happy. Then you've got two cayennes at the back. In fact, I think that's an ahi lemon and a cayenne. They're doing fine. One in the back right looks like I need to have a look at it. It's not looking too happy, so we'll have a look at that one in a minute. Round to more overflow onions and a lot of volunteer potatoes, it seems. And then into the corn. Corn's doing well. It's around about probably 3 foot tall. When it comes to it, I'll show you. I do tend to see a lot of questions based around corn about sort of the furs and the silks. I think that's the right terms. I can't remember, on the tops. And you know, are they right? You know, is that what they're supposed to do? Yes, it is. And we'll have a look at that when I've got some. You see a couple of little patty pan squash starting to form in there, so happy days about that. And then this is another change. I know you saw me do it, but the camera cut out halfway through, so we've got some beetroot and some red cabbage down there, looking like it's in need of some watering. I definitely need to do some weeding. And we've got some more white onions along here, leading down to Uchikakuri winter squash. I don't expect these to do much until the weather starts to cool down. There is one thing we missed, and it's something, sorry for the sniffling guys, but the hay fever's killing me today. I forgot to take my tablets before I came to the plot, and that's the peas. Starting to get peas, which is nice. I do enjoy a fresh pea. There's loads of pods, and still flowers, still growing. One thing happened, something came through the middle here and snapped all these off. not too worried, they'll be fine. I am going to change this design slightly for next year. I will get it right eventually, but yeah, see, there's loads of peas dotted in and amongst in there, so happy with that. It's still something that I need to work on, but we're getting there. Anyway guys, I'm going to head up into the shed and sort of say my goodbyes, because it's very warm. We've done a bit of harvesting. In fact, I'll show you the harvesting once we're in the shed. So give me a couple of minutes to get set up and I'll speak to you in a bit.
Hello guys.
Yeah, what she said. Wow, the heat is really hitting me hard today. Yeah, so that's about it for today guys. Like I say, let's get this bit out of the way first. Please go down into the description. There is a GoFundMe link in there, and that's for Cancer Research UK. I would like to hit £500. Please go down there, give what you can, even if it's only 50p. I really appreciate it.
So it doesn't have to be lots.
No, just give what you can. Right, yes, I've got 2 shout outs to do, and I'll try and remember to put links up one of these corners in the cards and in the description below. I want to give one shout out to a young lad called Ryan from Ryan's Plot. He's a allotment holder up in the northeast, I believe. And his videos are great. It's lovely to see some young interest in gardening. He's about the same age as Charlotte, and he just gets on with it. It's brilliant. And the second one is to a more of a vlogging channel, but it is to Wallflowers. And what they do, or what she does over there, is there's a little, like I said, there's a degree of vlogging, but the bits I like and the bits I enjoy, she's just done one about making elderflower champagne, which is something I would have loved to have done this year, but unfortunately I couldn't get the glassware in time. So yes, try and head over and give them a like and subscribe if you would be so kind. Speaking of liking and subscribing, I think this is what Charlotte was just about to say.
It was about say, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you do Facebook, Snapchat, or Twitter,
I don't do Snapchat for conversation shed.
Oh.
But certainly Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I think, is what you were thinking of.
Yeah, I'm misworded.
The links are at the end of the video, and in. I think I do still put them in the description below, but I probably won't on this one because I want to focus on the other links that are already down there. So I suppose you might want to see what we've been harvesting today. Well, we've got the potatoes you've already seen.
And raspberries. And
the raspberries you haven't. The raspberries are leaking everywhere. Whoa! Got about a couple of kilos of raspberries here. They're squishing under their own weight. They're juicing under their own weight. So we need to get these home and
as quick as possible.
As quick as possible. I think we're going to juice some of them.
Turn them into cordial.
The rest are going to go into the freezer to do some jam. Oh, put that down there. And as always,
eggs.
The ladies have gifted us with half a dozen eggs. Which isn't bad to say we've had the upset of the new birds. Normally, when you disturb things like that, when you add new birds, you tend to find that they'll stop laying for a week or two, or at least a week, usually sort of 5, 6, 7 days. In this instance, it looks like my usual birds have stopped, which, like I say, I understand, and the new birds are so happy with their new environment, they've started laying straight off the bat. I'm getting, how many birds did we have? 4. So yeah, I'm getting, I think at least 2 of them are laying, so quite happy with that, and clearly they are happy. So happy days on that, or you know, that's a lot of happies. So guys, we're going to call that a day. I'm rambling because I'm hot and I'm dehydrated. I need to get home, drink about a gallon of water. So I'll see you later.
Bye.